under the age of 16. And today's presenter is 14. And I was very glad to have this opportunity because I think we need to have more student voice in our professional learning as educators. I mean, they are why we do what we do. So I wanted to start off this morning while we let our presenter settle her nerves because she is nervous. She's never done this in front of a crowd before. So I just wanted to give you a little background about where she's coming from. So I have with me today, this is Ms. Lizzie Matlock, and she is the District Educational Technologist for Liberty ISD. And I just want her to tell you a little bit about what's going on in Liberty ISD so you understand the situation.
Hello, welcome. Thank you all for coming. I'm extremely nervous as well for both of us. But technology is really new at Liberty ISD. We're a small school district. We have around 2,100 students. We have 4 campuses, and in May of 2015 we passed a bond to do some construction on our schools, but also that included $2 million for technology. And so what happened this summer was we completely changed our wireless network, upgraded our wireless infrastructure. Every teacher received a laptop. We put 4 Chromebooks in every classroom, and every classroom received a wireless projector with an Apple TV, a Chromecast, and Screen Beam, which is a way to project a laptop. So all that happened this summer. And in July, they hired their first ever instructional technologist. So this summer was a big shift in technology for Liberty ISD, and we really had high hopes that this could all be done in the summer. Everything was installed day one. What happened, we had a lot of trouble with our wireless network. We had a lot of trouble getting the teacher laptops to actually connect wirelessly to the devices for presentation. And what is the main thing teachers rely on, especially when technology is new? Their document camera and their laptop. So really those kinks, it took us until October to get those worked out. We had a lot of issues with that. The beginning of the year training was spent with, this is how you use your laptop. We also went from XP to Windows 8 this summer as well. So there was a lot of change, a lot of shift. Teachers at the middle school campus had previously had an iPad, and that Emily will talk a little bit about that. That's where she came from. And they also had carts of iPads on their campus for about 2 years. So the middle school campus was a little bit more advanced than the rest of our campuses. Teachers received their iPads in November of this year. And we are not one-to-one. We have cards that are set up in department or by grade level. They can also be checked out in libraries. Those were actually delivered to the campuses the week before Christmas. We were a huge delay, a huge setback. And what happened, as I said earlier, I'm going to try to be politically correct when I say this. They were delivered on campus does not necessarily mean they were ready to use. Just because an iPad is sitting on campus and it's configured, it needs to have apps installed. And so we had to go through kind of all those hoops. And so really after the Christmas break, things really we're just starting to get going. And so Emily's going to tell you a little bit about her experience. She has some good things, and there are some things that break my heart. And really, especially being an instructional technologist, I'm just like, okay, what can I do? You know, it makes me feel very inadequate in how far we've come. We have a long way to go. And hopefully we can come back next year and show the progress that we've made and the steps that we've taken.
So now, just because it's her show, I'm going to introduce our speaker today, is Ms. Connelly.
Hi. I'm gonna go ahead and start by telling you where I'm from. I'm from Liberty County. It's the red county right there. It's shaped like an L. I am from Liberty in Liberty County. We're roughly about this over here. So I'm kind of a little bit far away, and we're a really small district. This is my high school right here. And we are a 4A school, and we have about 2,100 students in our entire district. So I have about 600 kids in my high school alone. Liberty's claim to fame is that we were established before Texas was even a state. So we were Liberty County before Texas for about 14 years. This is my family. I'm the big sister to my little sister Abby. She's in 7th grade right now. And she's at home with mom, so sadly they couldn't come. Dad's here. You want to wave, Dad? He's a principal at our youngest campus, our SJE. It's first grade and through pre-K. So he has the young kids, and he's been a principal at the elementary school and the middle school before. Mom is a reading enrichment dyslexia certified teacher at the middle school, so she has a lot of work with getting students to find their reading abilities. And my grandma in this picture here, she actually just retired from the district. She worked there as well as that high school. So maybe Abby and I are one of the good teachers too. I don't know. Next slide. Okay, I'm going to tell you about some very important family members here. Like, these are very important. This right here is my dog Roscoe, and he's in both of the outside pictures. He is 5, and he's a Welsh Corgi, and he's my best friend. And right here, he is on Twitter chatting. I'm telling you, maybe next year. At this chat. And this is my beaner dog Jackson. He's older than dirt itself. Well, he's 15. I mean, he's older than me even. So right here, he's modeling a designer sweater. Alright, next slide. I'm just going to tell you about some of my hobbies, passions, favorite things to do. One of my favorite things to do is art. And so here's some examples of my art that I've done throughout this year and the ending of last year. I also love sports. I'm in basketball season right now. It's almost over and I'm sad. But I also participate in high jump during track season and I play volleyball. So I'm very busy. I love to participate. So each season I'm doing something. Alright, this is where it all began. This is the beginning of how I got here. It's kind of unbelievable to believe I'm right here, right now talking to you, because this literally started sitting on the couch in my living room with my parents. I don't know how many of y'all have a Twitter. Alright, Twitter is an awesome form to get connected and grow your PLN. And your PLN is your Professional Learners Network. And my parents both were having Twitter, and they were participating in these things called EdChat. How many of you know what an EdChat is? Okay, well I'm going to tell you all anyways what an EdChat is. EdChat, because some of y'all don't know. An EdChat is basically a bunch of people. Let's imagine a giant group text message with anyone from all over the world who does any job, and you can see whatever they have to say by a hashtag. And do you know what a hashtag is? You use the number symbol and then whatever word. And so different chats will have different hashtags that keep you coordinated, and then everybody can see those tweets. And somebody facilitates the chat, like Corey or Ms. Adlock. I even done one myself this last Thursday. And anybody can get on it. There's different job rights, and we have authors, teachers, superintendents, principals, substitutes. I mean, even students are on there. So it's really cool. And they run a question and answer process sometimes where they'll ask you questions, you answer, you just tell them. So this was maybe 2 years ago. This is a long time ago actually. And this is called the Region 5 chat. And they do it every Thursday nights from 8 to 9. And notice my parents doing it. And being that I look up to my parents, and they have a lot of role model leadership in my life, because I do want to become a teacher actually. And so I wanted to do these chats with them. And so I got on the chat, and here I am, I'm on the floor right there, doing this chat on my iPad. And there's mom on her iPad, dad's using TweetDeck. And it just became something I wanted to do every Thursday night. Didn't matter if I had other things, friends to do, I wanted to do this instead. And that might be odd, but it was really fun to me. And on the chats, the best thing that I really enjoy about it is that I was 14 or 12 at the time, I could say anything about school or what it meant to me. It didn't mean just as much as a superintendent talking about their school. Like, my opinion was just as important on this chat. Alright, you go to the next slide. Okay, this is my original username, and I still have this account. And this is where I started doing the chats. Okay, if you notice in this DM, this is a direct message from Corey. The original direct message is about wanting to do TCEA. It says 3/5/15. So this was in last year, the beginning of last year. And this wasn't the beginning of when I did chats, but it was the beginning of taking interest. And I remember the night that I actually got this message. It was a night that my parents weren't on the chats, but I was. It was just me. So it's really cool that I was like, oh, I saw them tweeting. I was like, I'm going to get on Twitter and I'm going to do this chat. Even though my mom and dad aren't on there, you know? I still had the ability, I still felt comfortable doing that. And so Corey took interest in seeing that I was interested, and that meant a lot to me. This is very special to be here. And so I just wanted to put that up there just to show how serious this became, because I didn't know how this was going to happen. I didn't even really know what TCEA was, but here I am now. Let me go to the next slide. Okay, and once I found out that I would be presenting at TCEA, I decided to make another Twitter page, because I'm a teenager, I'm going to tweet about my dog, and I'm going to do dumb teenage things on Twitter, and so I figured y'all don't want to see my silly teenage life, and so I separated them, and I made this one. So I have a professional teenage life too, and it's pretty cool. If you notice, this is 56 followers. There's no longer 56 followers. I'm noticing as I'm up here, my iPad keeps on going off. I probably have at least 70 followers now. That means a lot, because that was last year, last week. Last week I had 56 followers. So that's really cool. Yes, and I just wanted you to know, if this is the only thing you get out of my session, then you should know that Twitter is so much bigger than just social media. You can do so much with it. I am standing here before you right now thanks to Ed Chats on Twitter. I've met so many different people. I've met Corey, I've met people from across the country and other places of the world, and here I am now standing in front of you presenting at this giant tech conference that I didn't even know existed 2 years ago. Alright. Yeah, next slide. Okay, so these are some pictures of the school. Some of the things that Ms. Lindsay already told you about. Right here, this is a computer lab. We have about 6 computer labs, I think 6, 5, around there. And they're open to students to come use at lunch. And all these computers are new. This right here is a picture of, if you notice there's a screen here. It's not a marker board. It's a new screen that was mounted in the classroom over the summer. And almost every classroom got this screen if they didn't have a marker board over there. And they're also mounted with projectors. And I know that every single one of my teachers uses this projector every day. And this other picture right here, I just wanted to show you what other classes have. They have a bunch of marker boards that slide back and forth. So I know that all my science teachers have like 6 marker boards that they can just move back and forth. It's the coolest thing. I mean, they don't have to erase anything. It's along the wall, and it's amazing. Next slide. Right here we have an iPad cart, and we have identical Chromebook carts that look just like this. And I do get to use them often, but not often enough. So we want to build that up. That'll be really cool to do. In this far right picture of the red trim, that is a picture of a laptop and a docking station. So every teacher has this. Maybe in this picture, this teacher doesn't particularly use their laptop as much. But they do have this in their classroom, every single one of them. In this picture, this is one of my friends. In fact, I took this picture this Monday, and I wanted to add it on here. She's presenting a pig collage poster that she created over Down syndrome in biology class, and the teacher has she has dropped the screen onto the projector and up there, and she is reading it off of her phone. So I thought that was really cool, and I just wanted to show you all that. Okay, I'm going to start telling you about stuff that's happened at my school that I want to do. As I've told you, I'm part of a lot of activities, and a lot of that ends up being bus rides at night. And I'm coming home from a basketball game, it's dark outside, and I gotta do my homework because I have games all throughout the week, or when I'm coming home from a football game, and it's a Thursday night because I'm JV, I have test Friday, and I gotta prepare myself. So that's why I picture this bus in the dark, because I'm riding in the dark, and that's what I want. The key part of this is it's in the dark. So it's hard for me to do paper. So I'm going to explain these two apps to you. How many of y'all know what Quizlet is? Okay, how many of you heard of Cram? Fewer, right? I just learned about Cram too. These are both digital index card apps. They're really cool. In fact, I'm using Quizlet right now to give me notes because I'm nervous, so I kind of need them. But Quizlet, you can make cards, you can go through them like I am, you can play games with them, and you can also access that on the computer. And same for Cram, you can get on the computer. And I really like Cram because it gives you different types of tests with the words or whatever you're studying in different forms. So it can be multiple choice, it can be true or false. It'll give you all kinds of different questions for you to do. So those are very awesome apps and that you should definitely check out and try. And so I'll go to the next slide. Okay, and right here I have, first is what I was told to do. I was told several times by multiple teachers not to do that because they wanted me to do the paper version. They said that I would retain more information from writing. Well, if you see, I have my phone flashlight right there. I get to use the technology, but I have to use the flashlight version. So I'll be on the bus balancing my flashlight between my knees while I'm writing, you know, and it's kind of hard, it's kind of tricky. And my friends that can tell you from experience, they do it too because we have to get their homework done. I mean, I'm not one of those students who's going to slack, so I'm going to get this done on the bus so that when I get home I can shower and get in bed. Alright, we'll go to the next slide. This is Google Drive. Google Drive is my saving grace. It's the best thing in this universe. It really is, and I hope that all of y'all get to use it. Some of the pros of Drive I have listed here is that it's time-stamped, it's eco-friendly. This is my opinion. I think it's probably easier to grade, so you have less stacks of paper to carry home. I know Mom have bags of it, just come and grade it Sunday night. Students can do this on the go. I always have my phone with me, like a teenager, of course, whether I'm using it for homework or not. So let's take advantage of us having our phones and go ahead and give us this opportunity. So when I'm on the go, I can go do my homework on this iPad, just type it up right now. Like, you know, it's so easy. And it saves automatically, so I don't have to worry about my homework getting deleted and then me redoing it, and that stinks. And I've had experience where I'll turn in work, and sometimes the teacher loses it. And I'm not saying that you'll lose your papers all the time. It's a very rare case, very, very rare. I mean, very rare. But this year I did have a teacher lose my homework, and I was very upset because I knew I did it, and I knew I turned it in on time, but sadly for me, I didn't get to win that battle. So I ended up having to redo it, and that's no fun. So we'll go to the next slide. I do this regardless of what the teacher wants me to do. This is, it might be silly, but I take a picture of my work once I do it, and I email it to them. So that way they know that they have it. There's no way they can say I turned it in late. It's always there, and no matter what. So I'll take a picture of the front and the back, and then I have it. So it's really, it's not the best, but it's gonna work for now, right? We're taking baby steps. All right, next. All right, this is Connect Ed McGraw-Hill. This is also one of my most favorite apps ever. I had it on this iPad. I use it every single week. I use this for geometry class, okay? I have homework on there, it's the textbook. So I can go on this textbook and I can slide through the pages, and let's consider my textbook weighs about 3 pounds more than this iPad. And this probably fits in my backpack a little bit easier, right? So this is a really good cool tool to use for this app. And not only does it have the textbook on there, but they offer extra practice work and different lessons so that you can get better at whatever skill you're working on. So, and I can get on this on the computer or on the iPad. So I have the ability to do both, and I do because it's very helpful. All right. Okay, this is Khan Academy. How many of y'all know what Khan Academy is? Khan Academy is really cool. When I was in 7th grade, my teacher fell and she broke her femur. So we didn't have that teacher for the whole year. We had 3 or 4 different long-term subs that came in, and it was hard to retain the information. And going into the 8th grade, I was going to be taking algebra. So my class was very behind on understanding the math skills that other schools would have. So I know that everyone in my algebra class, we struggled learning some of the basic things in algebra because we didn't have the things we needed from 7th grade math class. So my algebra teacher, like the best teacher in the world, stressed that we use Khan Academy. And I did. I can tell you many times, I come home on the weekend or before bed, and I'd sit with my iPad, I put my earbuds in, and I'd take notes and I'd practice with the instructor on Khan Academy. And Khan Academy has every subject on it. And what they do is they break it down for you. Like here, this is a screenshot of a video. So this teacher is explaining practically what to do. So these things on the screen, they're not already there. They actually are drawing them onto the screen, and they're talking and telling you how to do it. So you get a visual and you get to listen to them, and it's very helpful, and you can play it as many times as you want. So, you can go to the next slide. Alright, so I'm going to start talking about some experience this year that's very important to me. Go ahead and sit this down, because I don't feel like I need it anymore. I'm getting better. Alright, so this is a virtual tour that I did in my English class. And it was really cool to get the teacher to do this. And I want to thank you for finding this app, because let me tell you, my teacher was so excited to use it. Once they told me, this would make me so happy. They said, once I tried it out, I liked it more. And so this is a lot about trying stuff out and getting used to it and being comfortable with it. So these are just pictures that I took in the class of the virtual tour that's on the screen. If we go to the next slide, I can break this down for you a little bit more. Okay, this is the upgrade challenge. I'm not really sure if you all know what this is, but it's pretty simple. The teacher was the only one with the iPad in this class. So let's beef it up and give every student an iPad. We have iPad cards to utilize them. Every kid has their iPad. They're going to get so interested. They're going to be, oh my gosh, look at the balcony and this stage here. It's so cool. And they're going to be doing all kinds of cool stuff with it. And that's just a way to take the simple task and make it even cooler. Because she did a great job, and I was really proud of her, and we talked about it afterwards. She was like, yeah, we'll do that next time, you know? And that was the best part, is that she wanted to do it again. So, okay, let's talk about reviews. This is a picture, I don't know if you can see this, it says Unit 1 Test Review. Reviews can come in paper packet forms, or they can come in PowerPoint forms where we take the notes. And that's good, that's great, I'm getting my review. But let's fun it up. I'm sorry if that's not a word, but funning it up is a thing when you get into your, like I remember we do a lot more Kahoots in middle school. So coming into high school, it's kind of weird because I'm still kind of immature, I guess you could say. And so I still want to do fun things, I still miss recess, things like that. And so it'd be really cool to use Kahoot more. And we can do this on the Chromebooks, the iPads, our own devices. If I brought my phone, I mean, it doesn't matter, you can do it on any of them. And it's really fun, interactive, and the kids get so amped. I mean, in my class, the teacher used to just tell us, please sit down, you're getting too excited. If your kids are getting excited about a test review, that's pretty awesome. And I mean, what I really like about Kahoot as well is that as we're doing the questions, you know if you're getting them wrong or not, so you know whether or not you need to really beef up your studying. And so a lot of kids, that's really helpful to them, is because they don't study. And so this helps them so they know what they need to study. So I really like Kahoot, and it's not the only way to do it review. You can do lots of different ways, and so try different things out. But this is a way to fun it up in school. All right, we'll go to the next slide. Here is another upgrade challenge. Okay, we're talking about the essay. A lot of kids dread essays just because it's a lot of writing. I love writing. I'm not going to bash writing. It's one of my favorite things to do. I do it on a daily. About journaling, blogging, it doesn't matter, I love writing. So, I don't have anything against essays, but I do a lot of essays. So every once in a while, can you type it? You can put it on Google Docs. I mean, Just every once in a while. It doesn't have to be something you do every single time you have an essay, because students do need to write. That's very important. I know that it's a lost art for some people, and students definitely need to get their writing in. But every once in a while, just put it on docs. And now I'm going to tell you about a couple of really cool apps that I like or that I've used. This is Pic Collage. Right there is what the app looks like on your screen. So if any of these apps you're interested in finding and getting after this presentation, I'll definitely talk to you. You can find it, or I have some pictures up here. Anyways, I started out using Pic Collage more for personal use. When I would take a bunch of pictures to go into stuff like things with my friends, and then I wanted to post them on like Instagram, I would take a Pic Collage and put all the pictures on one collage and just post it. And so teachers can get really crafty with this. And recently we did, like I said earlier, we did a poster in biology over different disorders, and I did like autism, and I had like my title, facts, and it just looked really cool. It was a great way to present it. It's really fast and easy to do, so it's nothing to be afraid of. It's just really easy, fun. And if you don't want to just do creative freestyle, you can get a layout and structure as well. So you get to pick what you really want to do. Okay, this is doing. And I know these pictures are cheesy. This is me and my sister. Sunday, we had Superhero Sunday at church. And my dad, he brought his green screen setup. He has this coolest thing ever. And he has a green screen and lighting, and he's got this iPad. And we use the app Doing. Doing is a great app, and I think it's amazing. I've played with it a couple times. And so in these pictures, if you notice, there's a background. That background isn't really there at all. There is a green screen. And that picture, we just picked it, and it put it there. And my sister's wearing a kind of green shirt, so I know it kind of looks kind of funny. Like right here, she kind of looks like her neck is disappearing around it. But she's really not floating, I promise. She has a shirt on. But it's kind of close to the same color as the wall. We just didn't plan that out so well. But green screen's really cool for presenting. If your students want to do something like this and get really creative and make like a movie or a project, really good way to do it. It gets them really intrigued. I know that it'll get them excited about it and stuff like that. Okay, this is Canva. Canva is another poster making app, and you can also get on the computer to do it. I think Canva's even awesomer than some of the other apps. It's a little bit more detailed. You can do a little bit more with it. This is just an example that my mom did. You know, it's her name there. Some pictures of my family in it, and our dogs, of course, you know. But she did this at the beginning of the year to just tell her students about what who she was as a person, what she taught. And it's just a really cool app, and I think that it's definitely can be utilized in the classroom as well as like Pic Collage or some of the different apps that do the same thing. So, okay, how many of you have used Remind before? I see a couple hands, yeah. Remind's so awesome. It's a great way to send out mass texts. I have coaches who use it and teachers, and my coaches will send us out a text before the next day. Practice early in the morning. Be there. You know, we gotta be there. So they tell us, you know, beforehand. Or the teacher reminds us, don't forget to do your homework. Or we have a test, you need to study for it. And it's really helpful. And I think that it's really great. You notice my first bullet says, teachers have the option to allow whether participants can answer or not. I know that some teachers don't want kids texting them back. I definitely understand that. That's kind of weird. But it's a web-based app. And your students can text you back if you want. So like if I have a question for coach, I'm like, so what are we doing in the morning? Do I need to bring like my nasty tennis shoes? She can tell me. So that's really cool. Okay, and I've already talked a lot about Twitter, so I'm not going to dwell on this too long. But this is, this bottom picture right here is TweetDeck. TweetDeck is on the computer. I think you can use it on the iPad too. I'm not really 100% sure. I haven't used it that much. But I've used it when doing chats, like I told you earlier about chats. They're really, really good. I suggest that all you try it out one day. But this is a really good way to watch the chats. I mean, you're getting lots of tweets back to back and can get kind of hectic when you're doing chat. And so it's really good to see all of them lined up on TweetDeck. And you can tweet and see your DMs and your notifications on the same time. Any questions?
TweetDeck doesn't have an app, but Hootsuite does.
Oh, it does? Alright, thank you. If you didn't hear that, TweetDeck does not have an app, but
Hootsuite.
Hootsuite?
Hoot. H-O-O-T, like now.
Oh, Hootsuite.
H-O-O-T. It has an app, but TweetDeck has never gone to
Alright,
handheld devices.
that's awesome. Thank you. So that's a really good way to do Twitter chats if you want to make it easier on yourself. That's a good way to do it. Give me the next one. Okay, I'm going to tell you about Adobe Voice. It's kind of new to me as well, so you might not know about it at all. But my mom did it this year with her students, and I thought this was the coolest thing ever. Her students, they struggle with reading in front of class, so it's really good for them to just record their own voice. So Adobe Voice, what it is imagine a seamless presentation that you just play. It's like making a video, putting it up there. They will take a picture on a slide, put it there, record their voice. They want to put text on it, they can, and then they'll do the next slide, and the next slide, just like that. And then when it plays it all together, it sounds like one big presentation. Sometimes it plays music with it, different stuff like that. So it's really, really cool. And I know if you see here I have, it's great for students who are shy. There's always that one kid who doesn't want to go up to the board and talk about whatever they had a presentation or project over. They just want to go up there and kind of get it over with. So if they can have the option of doing this at home, it kind of helps them out. They're like, oh, this is better. I don't have to do the talking. Well, I am talking, but it's already up there. So it's easier on them. It's a little bit more comfortable for them. And I think that's really cool because when you get a kid out of their comfort zone, they might not excel as much. But if you give them opportunities like this, they're going to go really far. And I've seen that at school with some of my friends myself. So. Okay, iMovie. I actually have an iMovie I'm going to show you. But I'm going to warn you before, I made this 2 years ago. So it's not as good as it would be if I did it today. Let me tell you, my friends and I did this in science class, was the bone wrap. And the sound quality is not very good. Because it was the first time when I first ever did it. But I know that if I did it today, it'd sound a lot better and be even cooler. And I just think iMovie is awesome, so I'm going to show you this and then I'll tell you more about it. Well, yeah. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Alright, now I need to show you this embarrassing video.
Wait, look. This is
afterwards. And yes, I did know that afterwards, sadly, that this is not the Elvis Presley dance move. That's okay. I learned that it was something else. But yes, that's iMovie. You can do different slideshows with it, or you can do what I did. I just put a bunch of videos together, and I literally made this video in one night. We filmed in an afternoon, and then I went home and I videoed, like I cut them, put them together, and turned it in the next day. So it was really quick and easy, and I made a $100 project too. So, alright, we're gonna do it this.
Will we play this in Keynote?
Hmm?
Will we play it in Keynote?
No. I think down in the bottom left corner, you can advance the slide.
Okay, this is Flipgram. I know that my sister uses this just for like Instagram and stuff, but this can be used for lots of different things. I know that some teachers have used it to make videos about what's going on in their classroom, to tell the world, to put on their Twitter, Instagram, whatever they want to post. So Flipgram, you can do slideshows with pictures, or you can do videos, like this is kind of iMovie, but it's quicker, easier, and smaller, I guess. You can music on it, and you can decide how fast you want your pictures to slide. If you want your pictures so fast that nobody can tell what it is, go ahead and do that. If you want it so slow that everybody just gets to take it in, you get the option, and you can pick as long as you want the video to be. And I think there is a version where you can pay so you can get more music to go with the things, but a lot of people just use the free version, so I mean, whatever works. And you get the text on it too, so it's really cool, really good app. Okay, this is Zeit. How many of you have heard of Zeit? I know that I have used Zeit in your classroom before, Ms. Smith back there. Zeit's a really cool, it's like an online magazine, and Zeit has been used, I've used it for several years now, I guess. My mom introduced it to me, because I do these things called current events for my teachers, where we have to write about an article that has been put out, a video, whatever we want to write about, but it has to be current. And so on Zeit, you can pick what kind of genre you want of your magazine, like what editorial version you want, and then it'll bring them up. And so if I have like a current event about world geography, I'll tell you world geo, and all the most current articles come up. Every single article on Zeit will have been posted within the last 24 hours. So you're not going to see an article on there that was put on there weeks to months ago. It's going to be like it was posted right before you got on the app. So everything's very current. And then you don't have to use this in the classroom. If you want to do it just for your own personal benefit, that's a good way to do it too. I mean, it's free, fun, and really good. Okay, this is the link to my blog. So do you want to go ahead and link that? Okay, so Corey and I ran this blog throughout the year, and so here's the opening page, the home page, and it's just biographies and such. But we also, I kept a blog throughout the year. So this is actually last Thursday night. I think it probably posted this Friday. I don't know if it works, but that's the store side. I did Ed Camp Global online last Thursday. And I didn't even know this was a thing. Corey texted me on Twitter, she's like, hey, you need to do this. This is important. This is a great opportunity for you. So I get on Twitter and I facilitated my very first Ed chat. And that was such a cool opportunity. You could have seen me on I had my mom's laptop out with TweetDeck, and I was scrambling, questioning, putting questions on there, answering people's questions, answering the questions themselves, just talking to people on Twitter. I gained a lot of followers. My PLN is growing, and it was really awesome to see that. And I met a bunch of really cool people on there, and I got to talk to them, and I heard their PLN as well. It was really awesome. So, So these are a couple of my other blog posts. I just gave updates. This success one right here with the pictures, that was about the virtual tour that I showed you earlier. And in fact, they even think this guy in it. And then I talked about iPads. There's several other blogs. I'm not sure if we want to look at them all. What we're going to do.
We're going to send out the link to your presentation and your blog so everybody can read it.
Awesome. Definitely go and subscribe to my post. I'm going to continue posting even though this is the big presentation. I will continue to follow up everything and we will definitely try to be here again. And then these are ways you can connect with me. So that's my Twitter handle right here for my professional. I mean, if you want to follow my teenage page to see all my tweets about my dog and how cute he is, you definitely can. Because I tell you, he's pretty cute. That's my email right there. If you want to jot that down, if you have any questions for me. And then, of course, I have an Instagram for my dog. I know, my friends make fun of me for it all the time. But, yes, his name is Roscoe Pico Train after the Dukes of Hazzard. Dad said if we're going to have 2 dogs, I get to name them. So, that's what we did. So I made that Instagram for him, and I post every once in a while on there, and you definitely should follow me to see how many followers this one is. And then there's a link to my blog, and I also have a second blog. I don't know if Corey didn't even know about this, but I have another blog that I run with Texas Target Communities. It's a thing that A&M is hosting. Sorry, I know we're in Longhorn country to all you UT fans, but I have been working with the Aggies. So I do have a blog, and you should definitely look at that as well. And what I do is I'm talking about how to make Liberty the best it can possibly be, because Liberty is going to be growing. They're adding a loop that connects us to the highway. I'm not even 100% sure how that is, but Dad's laughing at me because I'm not good at this kind of geography and stuff. But Liberty is going to grow and get real big, and we're just going to try to make it the best it can be. And it's a blog that I run with another student that that lives in Liberty. He's a homeschool student in Dayton, which is in Liberty County. Because this project is about all of Liberty County. We're just going to try to make Liberty the best it can be. So,
Thank you, Emily. We're going to do some Q&A, so if you have questions or anything of it. But I have to see, why did you want to do this project?
After doing all the chats and seeing how great other schools were and what they did, it was kind of a thing that I was driven to want to make my school as cool as that. So I mean, I guess it's kind of a popular thing as well. It's like, oh, my school does this. You know, my friends that go to other schools, I'm like, oh, by the way, we did this. You know, so it was kind of just because I wanted to make it as cool as other students got to experience, and for my friends' benefit, not just my own. So.
All right. And some takeaways, some more points. What did you learn from this experience?
I learned that sometimes you have to be continual, and I know that not every single time that I ask a teacher if we can do something, I'm going to get to do it. But I do know that after a couple times of asking them, they might open up to it more. Not because I'm pestering them about it, because I don't want to pester you, but because they might be interested. I know that a lot of my teachers became more interested in the time period of this project. They were like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. Once I did it, I liked it. And so I learned that teachers just, once I get to know them and we get a relationship and we get things going, they're more interested in doing it.
That can answer my next question about what looked like. So I'll skip to the next question of, do you consider anything a failure in this project?
I don't think anything's a failure because this is a trial and error project. Everything I do is we're trying it out, we're testing it, we're seeing what works best. So some things aren't going to work. And we know that, and I knew that I had to be prepared to walk into this project a little bit open-minded about things. And I knew that I was going to have to try different things, I was going to have to be consistent and ask. So I know that this isn't a failure. There were things that we can work on. They did just get their iPads, so we have a long road ahead of us, and we're going to make some awesome success stories with it.
A couple of questions. What do you want teachers and administrators to take away from your experience?
I want my teachers and administrators to see this experience as an opening and opportunity. I want them to grow in it. I want them to enjoy it and have fun with it, because putting tech into the classroom is fun. It's not just something that you're gonna have to put a bunch of work into. You're gonna enjoy it. You're gonna get to see the success in it. After you take this journey and you see the difference, you're like, oh, look at my students. They're doing amazing. Their grades are great. They love it. You're gonna see the difference, and I want them to know that difference.
And what do you want other students to take away from your experience?
I think what I want for other students is I want them to feel like they can ask the teacher, hey, so-and-so, can maybe we send this on Drive instead of writing it out or turning it in as paper the next day? I want them to feel like they can ask and pitch ideas, because like we said, we want to talk about student opinions, and maybe I'll get some friends on the chats. So I have some friends that definitely think we do, and maybe they can interact with y'all, and I think it would be really cool to get them out there and have their opinions out there as well.
Do you have any questions in the audience for any of us?
I was just going to ask if you plan on running another Twitter chat with the school committee hashtag. Is that something you're going to do on a regular basis?
I don't know. I mean, if y'all want me to, I definitely will. If y'all are going to do it,
Yeah.
I mean, if y'all want me to, I will definitely do it.
Yes.
I have a question that I need a student's opinion on. We have a great device district, and recently I'm a digital learning coach. I went into a lesson with some students that required them to download apps on their phone. I think it was VoiceThread and Quizlet, and they didn't want to do it.
Some of the kids might not want to download the educational apps on their own devices because of storage issues, but I think that that's going to be an issue to run into, because kids can be stingy and they're going to be immature, and they're going to want, they might rather have that video game on their phone because the school isn't as valued. But I think if you work with them and you show, well, this is going to make a difference, then they'll open their minds eventually. You just have to be consistent and try. I mean, I know what you're coming from. I have students at my school that are like that too. So. You're welcome.
Do you recommend, are there other students like you that maybe you could have a club or a group, or I'm just wondering how to spread it through a school? Your enthusiasm and the way you're so helpful for digital immigrants and people who aren't as comfortable with the technology.
I think that, as a student, I know I'm a teacher's kid, and so I'm interested in this stuff as it is already. I get to experience it at home as well. It's not just something I would do at school. So I have friends who also are teachers' kids, and there's some students who they value education, and that's their plan in life. And I think that you could open up these groups, like make a club, and if you get one kid to do it, they're going to pull their peers into it and say, hey, you need to do this because I'm doing it, not just because right. I mean, nobody's going to show up alone. They're going to bring a friend because of peer pressure. So once you get this started and rolling, I think that more kids will come and be interested.
Great. Thank you.
Because when I was a classroom teacher, I was given a class that was called a math resource class, and I wasn't a special ed teacher. But it was the kids that nobody else wanted to deal with because of behavior issues. And so we did things with tech, our own tech, before the school even started talking about technology. And these kids who wouldn't behave in other people's classes behaved perfectly fine in mine because we gave them responsibility and showed them this is something fun that you're good at, and they were excited about coming to class, and they told other kids, well, we get to do this. And other kids wanted to do it, but they weren't in the resource class. So sometimes you have to just give opportunities to those difficult students as well to shine, because they might just find what they're good at through technology.
Thank you.
And if you hear what she said they told their friends. That's a big deal. Rumors, gossip, everything, that travels fast. So if someone thinks it's really cool and they're a teenager, they're going to tell. Like, I tell my friends all the time what's going on in my life. They tell me what's going on in their life. It's going to spread fast. We're going to tell each other about it. More kids are going to be like, oh, that's cool. Because I told some of them about the chats. And they know that I'm missing school right now. They're like, I don't know why she's gone. What is she doing? Well, because I did this, I get to come here. And if y'all participate, maybe one day we'll get to come and all visit together, you know, and give them that hope, that plan, and they'll definitely be interested.
Have any more questions?
What are some obstacles that you experience with educators integrating the technology?
Some of the teachers, they were stuck in their ways. They had a path they followed regularly, and so it was the whole
Can I follow up that question with another question?
Yes.
You said teachers were stuck in their ways. I find that really fascinating. So, there are two different types of teachers in
Yes,
this, and somebody
definitely.
mentioned digital immigrants,
Mm-hmm.
but you're part of the digital native, I guess society, where more digital native teachers are becoming teachers,
Yes.
And digital natives, for those that don't know, are people that were born after 1980, which obviously you were.
Yes, yes, sir, I was.
And I guess my question to follow up with that question is, was there like a disconnect with the digital native teachers and the digital immigrant teachers integrating these technologies?
I do think there was. I have a couple of my teachers who are younger. They're more interested in using the tech. They're on the tech team at school. They're definitely more open to having the technology because they've been teaching longer. So, I mean, teaching less time, so they don't have a usual set that they have. I know that my teachers who have been teaching for a longer period of time, they have a way that they've done it every year, and it's easier for them to use that lesson plan maybe over again. So, I mean, it's just, that's how it is.
I'm really proud that you did this presentation, and I think that all teachers.
I'm also add on to her answer because being a professional in the field, there's a lot of different kinds of teachers. I have a lady that's been teaching over 40 years, and she is one of the most enthusiastic people when it comes to using technology. Granted, she takes notes in a steno pad, but she's very enthusiastic about using technology. I want to introduce a new category because we have our digital natives and we have our digital immigrants. I invite you all to be digital Sherpas. Okay? We're going to help each other improve the technology because I also have pre-certified teachers who are very young and they use technology in their lives every day. I can't get up disconnected from their cell phones. They do not know how to apply this technology to educational purposes. They're graduating and they're coming to the classroom and there's a disconnect because of their training that they don't get it. So we all need to become these digital Sherpas. We're going to help the digital natives, connect with the digital immigrants, and we're all going to climb up this technology mountain together because everybody has challenges. No more questions. We are here. We're going to let y'all early because some of these sessions you have to do battle to get through the day. But we are here, and once again, let's thank Emily.
And I just wanted to tell y'all that I went from 56 followers, and I just checked, I have 112 followers.